by growing public discourse of AI's ethical use, data privacy, and its implication for democracy. Government regulatory bodies, tech companies worldwide are under increasing pressure to develop clear policies and transformation to ensure AI's responsible deployment in media and communication. This session seeks to analyze AI's role from perspective of industry leaders, regulators, and innovators
who are shaping these critical policies and standards. Today, our esteemed panel will explore critical questions. How is AI influencing traditional media operations? What ethical safeguards are essential as AI handles increasingly sensitive content? And how can regulatory bodies ensure a balance between innovation and accountability? Our speakers come with a wealth of experience and insight representing apex organizations that not only assess but also guide AI's role in media. Their insights will provide roadmap for understanding AI's current impact and future potential in our industry. So before we dive into the heart of our session, I would like to call upon our chairperson, Dr. Vishwajit Sahu, to give his opening remarks and set the session in order. Dr. Sahu. So your wish. I mean, do we have a microphone? If someone can give a microphone, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really an honor to be here, to be a part of this media conclave. And without any delay, let us start this plenary sessions as Mr. Madam Suman Sudha Ponda has already given introduction for every member of this session. Let us start it with the opening comments. I think we should start with the sequence. Mr. Abhijit Das, let him give his opening comments. We'll go in this sequence, left, then right. Okay. So let me hand it over to Mr. Abhijit Das. Okay, no problem. We'll start it from the right sides. Okay.
Now I call upon Mr. Abhijit Das, Business Development Head, BFSI AI Analytics Practice Cognizant. So over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Respected guests and fellow dignitaries. Professor Padi didn't tell me I could present it over the screen, otherwise I would have come up with a fancy presentation. Nevertheless, I will not bore you with the, I think a lot of sessions have been conducted so far. I'll start with the concept of AI. Right, I'll touch upon briefly and then I'll move to the next points. The AI has been here since 1950s with Alan Turing's famous question, can machines think? That single question has set the standard on the set the stage for a decade of research and development, and AI has evolved from simple algorithms and theoretical discussions to what we see as a practical tool today. So every technology disruption that has been around here, it definitely follows an S curve, right? It starts slowly and it grows, then it has its growth phase, then it becomes a plateau. And we have been feeding data and intelligence to the models. We have been training the models since decades. And until 2 years ago, something interesting happened. That the machines have started conversing back, and that way in our own language, right? Which we call today as generative AI or Gen AI. And we are just yet scratching the surface. It's less than tip of the iceberg. The potential is endless. And the new world will always call for a enterprises to be AI ready, or any organization, as Madam touched upon the media and entertainment industry. So any organization or an enterprise, when it thinks to adopt AI, it has to be dependent on two vectors. It is always a struggle between two vectors. The positives, which is anchored upon the what is the possibility in the future, what problems it can solve, and there is definitely a negative vector, which is anchored on the current status quo or the current ways of working. There is definitely a huge incentive that needs to go through the organization so that they can take that leap and adopt any new technology. And the adoption will only happen when the positives outweigh the negatives, right? And when an organization thinks about adopting AI, how does it actually go about it? So there is no single critical element that they need to take care of. On the contrary, there will be many instruments or the many elements that they need to think that it should work in unison so that to make it a grand success. The first and the most important for them or any organization would be the data. Data is the lifeblood of all the lifeblood of your any model that you develop, right? And a bad quality data will eventually lead into a bad quality model. And your AI model is as good as or as bad as the data that you are training it on, right? And the second element would be the process. And if you, depending on your scale of ambition, if you take one process and try to automate it, then I would argue that you are just doing the RPA, not actually scaling it up. And it goes beyond just automating the process. The organization has to reimagine the process and sometimes remodify it. Right? The third element would be the technology, and it is perhaps the most well understood and yet a rapidly changing piece in the entire game. And we have seen, as I told, right, every technology disruption will follow an S curve, right? We have seen it with the internet. Although it started with 70s, for the internet to be productive, we had to wait till 2 decades, right, until the browser came in. Only then I think in the 90s, I think we were really reaping the benefit of the internet. It still continues. And the other aspect would be the people. So your people with the traditional setup, when the new skills are emerging, the people also have to see a right mindset, whether they will be able to reskill, whether they are willing to reskill. Are you enabling a culture for them to reskill? That is quite important. Culture, as I was recalling from some of the an interesting conversation from my B school days. The culture is strategy for breakfast, right? And then I was kind of relating it to the organizations. Of course, if you do not inculcate the right culture, whatever strategy you are going to take, it is destined to fail. And so all these pieces need to come together. And it is not about the problems, or the present problems, how we are solving it with AI. I'd like to close my statement with that. So how differently we are able to think about the problems and how differently we are going to solve, this is what it will matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Das, for that insightful remarks. He said it in a way that we have to, just knowing AI is not important, but it is a combination of different elements, be it data, process, people, culture, everything has to go hand in hand, and then you can get something fruitful. Next, I would like to invite upon Mr. Nirmalya Mishra, the delivery partner at Infosys. Over to you.
Good afternoon. I'm Nirmalya. I don't know the PPT I thought I'll speak through. So I manage one of the largest AI chip manufacturer of the US. So I thought when I look back this session, I thought I'll make it more contextual to media. Myself, I am from Infosys. I'm from the Communication, Media and Technology Group within Infosys. We manage all the worldwide large media and entertainment companies and tech companies. If you look at the media within India, right, the media industry, it is almost doubling from 20 in last 5 years. 2020, it was close to $14 billion, and next year it should hit around $28 billion, right? So this is a growth trajectory which has almost year on year, almost 10% or more than 10% growth, as an industry. And AI has been already in the heart and center of the media industry, so to say, right? So if you look at the different sectors within the media industry, right? The television sectors or the print media or the films or the digital, right? Everywhere, every heart and corner of these sectors, AI has already have been a play. It's not that AI is new, right? So what I thought to reflect where exactly it has made a play and what we can do more, so that we can have some interactive Q&A from you all, right? If you look broadly, there are three different areas where the industry mainly works, right? It starts from the content creation, right? Where the content gets created, how productively, how efficiently, how with lesser effort can AI help or AI-powered content can be created for the media, right? And if you look at today in India, I don't want to talk about the West because we do most of the clients are our Western clients. Almost all the media clients we manage in the West. But if you look at even in India, most of the newsrooms, right, be it Times Now, News 18, almost most of them today use AI-powered ways to create content by looking at different data sources, different websites, social media, and generate news on trending topics on the fly, right? So that, in a way, reduces the overall effort and brings that efficiency and brings that competitiveness over others, when it comes to content creation, right? The next is around content delivery, right? Or content distribution. If you look at how the whole streaming industry have been in last a decade, thanks to COVID, for many to even think beyond, right? Have been miracle, right? Where AI has helped a lot to look at how best streaming can be to the end users. How can you see their preferences, see their history of usage, and give recommendation of what content they are looking for or they would like to see, right? And then lastly, the audience engagement, right? What we call the third pillar of the sector, right? Where how exactly you engage with the audience or the consumer, right? If you look at even in that segment, the AI chatbots, virtual assistants have done massive penetration to reach the audience to interact around the clock, right? So I probably talked about a lot of good things that have been happening, and I'm not getting into some of the sessions in a topic which got covered in the previous session. I was listening towards the end. I closely work with Amitabh actually as part of the Vasini program. I'm part of the AI India discussions as well. But if you look at the flip side of this, right, when the content gets created, right, first, right, there are a lot of bias that gets built into the system. As my friend talked about, the underlying tech stack which goes behind the AI models, right, is about what data are you, training your model, right, and how the data is without bias, garbage in is garbage out, right? If you train a model with a lot of data which is having different types of bias, right? It could have a selection bias, it could have a sample bias, it could have a confirmation bias. There are a number of bias. I don't want to get into the technical side of it. But if the data has huge bias built into it, the model is going to do wrong association and wrong prediction and wrong content generation, right? So that's very, very, harmful for the industry and for the, humanity or the citizens, because eventually media is the fourth pillar of the democracy, right? After executive, legislative, and judiciary. If the content that generates on the fly from the content generation track through AI powered gets biased, leads into content which are misinformation or biased information, it's going to impact everyone, right? So we should be careful on that. There could be fake news. I think, I think somebody spoke in the previous call, right? How do you know which one is fake? In fact, AI is being used to create fake and to combat fake. So it's both way, right? While somebody is using in unethical ways to create fake news, somebody is trying to use and combat whether it is true or a fake news, right? So content creation, while is powered with AI, a lot. Equally, we have to see how we reduce bias, we reduce some of this misinformation that goes to the market, and then I'll get into some technical around hallucination, right? Models have to be designed right way also to avoid the level of hallucinations in them. Some of the recent, in last 2 years, if you see some of the top hallucinations, which have made real big, news in the market is. If you ask Meta AI about Trump getting a shot on the ear, it doesn't actually recognize that news. It says as if it is a fake news. So if you look at that model that was running then to check the factness or the correctness of that news, itself is not able to combat whether it is correct or incorrect. So we are at that stage where things are evolving, right? There are, if you look at Google AI Studio, there have been, questions asking, did Neil Armstrong, go to moon, right? And the hallucination led to the summary saying that, yeah, Neil Armstrong went to moon with a cat. And in fact, it started associating to the statement that Neil made a small step in, to the step of a cat. So what I was trying to say is sometimes this hallucination can lead to content which can be very imaginary and very inaccurate, right? We need to understand that the bias, the misinformation, the hallucination of these AI models have to be, guardrailed when you are actually pushing that content to the citizens or to the humans, right? Second is about the delivery, right? Yes, content has to be delivered. I think we talked about people worried about job loss. I agree with what Amitabh said in the previous call. I think we have seen that in so many revolutions, industrial revolutions to this, right? I believe yes, in interim we may see some job going away because probably some of these AI models are going to do that. But what that eventually will have is it will create space for journalists and all to do more creative and more higher value added work, right? Which is how things have evolved over time. We should not take it very negatively. Lastly, if you look at the virtual assistants or the AI chatbot part to connect to people, right? Which is the third area where media works a lot. I think that piece is getting improved over time, and that will only improve when some of these bias from the system, some of these hallucinations from the systems are taken away, right? So in summary, if I say within India with the digital public infrastructure that is getting built, what Amitabh talked about, the DPI, and different government also having the AI policies, I'm part of Orissa government AI policy as well. I think we should look at how to improve this to get that amplification in the media segment. I know, I don't know if I have taken more time, but if you have any questions, I can probably answer, some if you have. Because we work a lot on the hardware side as well. We actually build the chips that actually you run the AI workloads. You would have heard about, I don't want to disclose the name, but probably there are only a couple of companies in the world who actually build those chips. So we are the ones who we make chips for the AI workloads. In fact, this time we are launching the AI PCs. So the laptops that you'll get, you'll be able to run, the lower billion parameters like star coders or 2 billion, 3 billion parameters models on your laptop itself. We don't need GPUs to run the AI workloads. If you have specific questions on that, I can take that as well. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mishra. Like every coin has two sides, same I can say for AI. We have the pros of using AI in media, where you get the auto-generated content, you get the analytics, audience analytics. At the same time, you have the cons of it also, where the content gets generated. There's a lot of bias to it that, we as typical people affects our viewpoint. It gives a skewed viewpoint of maybe the things which we are doing. So the right thing to do here would be, to strike a balance between how we take in the information and how we act on it. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Mohar Manohar Mishra, co-founder and chief technical officer of Innoware Corporation, USA. Over to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, members on the dais. So this is Mohar Mishra, and I'm the co-founder and global CTO and country head for Innoware Technologies. Innoware is a product and solution company, and we provide different solutions to the healthcare insurance companies in the United States. I started my career in 2000, and I started my entrepreneurship career in 2009. And it has been around 15 years now as we're knocking the doors of 2025 into this entrepreneurship journey. But I have been involved and I have been seeing the different revolutions in the technical field. I think from 1996 when I started, studying about the science. And it has changed many times. There has been recessions, there has been new technologies, there has been Y2K as we discussed, there has been ERP, there has been big data, and in between there is a big cloud revolution happened. Now there is AI. Now, I'm sticking to the point over here that how the industry is assessing these changes, right? Now, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't have a choice. We are in the industry, and we have to open our ears and eyes to understand what is the right technology for us, and we need to adopt that. And that's exactly what we have been doing. We switched from RDBMS to NoSQL databases when the big data evolution happened, and now we're getting into AI. Now the AI, this particular revolution, this democratization that happened in 2020 to November, there is something really interesting about it, and we have to look at it with a lot of seriousness. When we got introduced to the computer science, this beautiful world of computer science, we were told there are two fundamental algorithms around which the entire industry revolves. There are many algorithms that we have been studying, we have been teaching. But the most fundamental algorithms are searching and sorting. Today, when you woke up in the morning, you must have searched for something. Maybe I searched for my toothbrush, and it has to be there in a particular location. That means it has been sorted. If you look at a database, that is nothing but a searching and sorting technology. Everywhere, every technology, if you look deep, it has something to do with these two algorithms. These are my observations, of course. When you look at AI, it has actually created a big dent in these two technologies. Today, we are talking about deep fake. We are talking about Jagjit Singh ji singing again with his own voice, some new numbers in the movies. These are all fascinating things. Definitely, very, very interesting on the social media, on our regular media. But for we people, the major change is here because when we design the system, we store data in a particular way. When we designed a workflow, we did the workflow automation in a certain way. Now this particular thing has changed. We don't have a choice. So what we need to do, and I always advise, when we look at AI, for a pure technical guy like me, I still consider myself more of a developer than an entrepreneur. But for me, the most important thing is to look at what is this AI spectrum, who are the people working on it, and where do I fit in? I need to compartmentalize it. I need to divide it into multiple cohorts. The two major cohorts that I see, again, I would be using a little bit of technical language. I see the entire AI divided into two boxes. One is a white box, the other one is a black box. You must have heard about white box testing, black box testing, and all that, right? What is black box testing? You don't know what the hell it is. You just have to go and break it. What is white box testing? You know what it is. You know how to break it, right? AI is very similar to that. Today, models are available, programming languages are available. You just have to call an API, and you get the results. And the results are driven by the AI algorithms. That is black box AI. That is a white box AI as well, where we need to get into the real technologies. We need to understand how this entire universe works. Universe means the human being itself is a universe, right? How we think. How do we train ourselves and come up with different new models to solve different problems. That is the white box AI. Most of the times what we see here is the black box AI. We need to invest and we need to think about the white box AI in a big way. Unfortunately, the white box AI existed since 2005 or 2006. I have been working on it. This entire thing has happened because of this ChatGPT. And this is all black box AI. This is good. We need to adapt it. Now, coming to the apex bodies, that's a very important point because I am going through all these things. Today, when I approach a client, the client in the demo, they are asking what kind of AI technologies you are bringing into your pitch. We have to do all these things, and we are doing all these things in a big way. We are solving different problems. But what controls we require? Now again, let us not reinvent the wheel. The controls were already there. We already had a problem regarding security, regarding hacking, a lot of issues we have been facing. Similarly, I know that there are different bodies coming up, so that when a vendor comes with an AI technology, they need to get certified through that particular protocol. We have ISO, we have HITRUST, we have COBIT, we have COHUS, a lot of protocols are there, frameworks are there. The industry, the responsible industry, and the responsible clients and the responsible vendors, they go through these protocols and they build their systems, their solutions, abiding by these rules and regulations. So we should not be just creating anything and everything, and should not be creating solutions for a demonstration purpose. We should be doing things so that it can be used somewhere in a scalable and a sustainable manner. I would not take more time. This is where I would like to stop. We can participate in further Q&A at a later point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mishra, for your insightful remarks. Now I would like to call upon Mrs. Shubhra Shatrupa Vishwa, Tech Lead at CSM Technologies, Bhubaneswar. Over to you.
I have to present a PPT. So, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to the delegates and everyone who are present here. So, I am Subra from CSM. Today, I thrilled to discuss with you that how the AI is reshaping the world of the media and entertainment through its insights and analysis and simplifying the process, the whole process of the media and entertainment service like content creation to distribution. So, there is a buzzword now like the AI. So, what is AI actually? Is a magic? No, it's actually a program. So it's learn like there is a child in your home and it wants to learn something. How you taught it? Like you have to feed, you have to speak with him. Like that, we have to create the AI models by gathering those data. Okay. So let's come to the next slide. Like in 2016, there is a highlighted movie called Sunspring, which is totally created by the AI. The name, the model was Benjamin, who is a filmmaker and a AI researcher. Put some contents and scripts from the 90s movie and gathered all the data to make a model and trained it. After that, it scripted a 9 minutes of movie, which is average, but as it's the first movie of the AI. So next we come to like in our day-to-day life, if there is Spotify or Ghana, the Spotify has a AI model DJ, which is creating a favorite music list for you. So how it's possible? Is getting your inputs, you like a friend, it understanding you, your moods, your state, even the time of the day where you like to listen which type of music, and this is possible through the Spotify. So through the AI models, like it's a entertainment media, right? And there is some Lil Mikula is the influencer right here in the Instagram, which is creating numbers of followers, right? So we all know that is AI. Okay. So let's come to the next slide. So there is lots of applications are there. I am particularly talk about the media and the entertainment industry. What can be where we can apply the AI? How AI can help us? We are working before. Like here is, I can see there is 5 clock is there, Sydney, Singapore, and if I calculate if you ask me what is the time in the US, then I have to calculate and take some time. If I have an assistant that will calculate immediately and tell me in the Singapore there is the time is 7:30, then you can take the decision immediately. That's why we have using AI. So for the content creation, we not in the media industry, we everywhere we can use. Like I got a mail in my personal use, I got a mail and I have to respond. So I have to take the decisions. So I instruct AI model, please write a response for me. Then I got a summarization. Then I can put more effect on my mails. That action should make more faster. Then we come to the personalization recommendation. It's in our daily life. Like in personalized recommendation, like I have talk about the Spotify. In the Netflix movies, you can see the movies which are your favorite is coming in the front of you, and you get your options easily. And what is actually doing? It's it's working more faster. That our time is not then the natural language processing like that. Now in the YouTube there is subtitle is creating. So how the subtitle is creating? There is a model we can get understand our natural languages and convert into the text. Okay. So this is a model, but these all models we require all the natural language data to train up. Okay. So here lots of students are there and they have to adopt the AI because the world is running to follow the AI features. Then in the sport analysis from the long days, we are using the AI for the insight and the analysis. So I have discussed how a AI model developed. So these are the requirements actually to develop a AI model. The AI engineer can develop a model. He knows the how to put the algorithm in the model, but it's required all these data like the movie scripting. That movie how that created, because it required the history of the movie scripts and the news articles and the web contents. Then for the image model, we require lots of images, the videos and the user generated contents which can easy to create a model. Okay. Then for the spoken language, like in Fascini, we are collecting the regional languages. There is the data of the news readers actually, which is collected and created model so that it can detect the regional language like Odia, Bengali and Marathi or that. And there is the sound synthesis, means speech synthesis, that like if the music is there, the model can detect which type of singer is here, who is the director, that can so detect by the AI models. So for that only the data is required, and we have to get all the data and clean up it, and with a structured data also required. If you put some biased data to the model, then it can be okay. So this is lots of models available here, you can check. Then let's come to this is a VR system. You in the mall you can check that is VR system everyone is enjoying. So the effects are from the AI models. So what are the adoption of the AI? Is we are following or some large apex bodies are following that? So this is the motion picture which is used AI tools for the content creation. Then the advertised standards, like they are using to check the piracy and the defects images. And for the ministry and broadcasting, they are using generative chatbots, generative AI chatbots for delivering the information, and for the disabilities also. Like if the disabled person, they can collect the information by only the speech. So these are the more large organizations where I have talked about Netflix, and Disney World is totally in every use case they are putting the AI effects like creating the characters, all that. Then the YouTube is there for the content moderation and automated subtitles and transcription. Then what is the investment? So US is in the first stage and India is in the fourth stage of the AI investment. So we have to also follow that. It is a prediction that in 2030, the market of the media industry in AI investment it will be go to the 99.48 billions. Okay. So this is all about how the students will go to for their career in AI. So if you in the future, if you wanting a good job, then you have to learn how to apply AI in your applications, in your skills. So you have to use AI to make the work better and more faster. So for an AI content curator actually used to collect data and creating the data for the models. So these are the challenges already discussed with us. And what's the solution can we talk? To tackle these challenges, we need advanced detection tools, then the clear ethical guidance and public awareness campaigning. AI is not just about replacing the task, it's about reinforcement it. Okay. So, thank you for joining me today. Let's continue the future with the AI.
Thank you, Shubhra. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Sibbabrata Mahanti, Senior Business Practitioner, Tata Consultancy Services, Bhubaneswar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So my co-panelists have already covered a lot of ground, leaving nothing for me towards the end. I'll not take the allotted time for me, but I'll give a perspective in terms of how industry is looking at AI and Gen AI. One, what are the innovators coming on their way in terms of productionizing the AI and Gen AI workloads, and what we should do as a IT services and consulting companies providing solutions to the industries. One, two, as a means of guidance to the universities, students, researchers in terms of what are the areas that they should focus on. That would be my part of my conversation today. So if I look at industry as a whole, what we are seeing, the maximum adoption of AI are in majorly 3 to 4 industries at this point in time. So I'm keeping AI and Gen AI are two separate things, although one is part of the other. Gen AI is a very newer phenomenon, so I'm keeping aside for a moment where AI exists for quite some time. When I'm saying AI, it's a classical machine learning, deep learning kind of thing that I'm talking about. So AI as a broad theme exists for a while, and the major beneficiary of this technology is
banking and financial institutions and the insurance companies. Following that are manufacturing sectors, and then retail, and finally we see a lot of trying to do provided that immediate help for them. When I'm saying incumbency modernization, they have got a lot of legacy code base, strategic Java they want to transform, so forth. So incumbency modernization is provided that immediate help for them in terms of converting legacy COBOL. Second is digital transformation. So when I'm saying digital transformation, it is not only transforming your digital ecosystem altogether, but creating certain transformative touch points where the enterprise is interacting with end customers. So chatbot is one example. We are talking about something called digital labor, all right, which transforms the entire your HR transformations, your ERP transformation using generative AI. And the third thing where generative AI is currently being used is on a process optimization side, okay. But if you look at the distribution of it, 52% of our customers are focusing on incumbency modernization. About 18 to 20% of our customers are focusing on digital transformation. Other things follows. Process optimization, it's towards the end of the segment. And now customers are trying out different generative AI theorems, models, a lot of things available, but we are not seeing a lot of things going into production, which is getting applied and for which customers are realizing the return on investment on the generative AI technologies. Why so? So there are a lot of imperatives in the process. One, as one of my co-panelists was mentioning, it's black box. So we don't know what is inside it. What kind of data has been used? What are the security vulnerabilities within that data? What are the IP-related issues are there on the data? So the enterprises are not aware about it. So there comes governing or creating a framework around those models which can govern them. We all talked about hallucination, biases, profanity, hate, abuse on the data. But that's not enough. When I'm looking at governance as a holistic framework around generative AI, it should have three components. One, I should be able to monitor all these parameters, the hate, abuse, profanity, so on and so forth, drape, bias, whatever we can talk about. But more than that, me as a CIO of an organization should have a clear view that which version of my model, be it AI model or GenAI model, is running in which environment. If I have a large organization, typically in a BFA segment, a single large investment bank is running more than 1,000 risk models, all right, for the risk assessment of their customers, corporates, so on and so forth. Now, as a CRO, if I need to understand which risk model is running in which platform, which risk model is used for what context, I don't have a visibility at that view. So what is important is to create that visibility of the model is the first parameter of our governance strategy, which requires a life cycle management of the model. Second is monitoring, which includes all our matrices. Third is how can I embed the regulatory framework within my governance ecosystem. So EU-AI Act, we all know about it. If you breach EU-AI Act, the fine is minimum $35 million or 7% of your net revenue. Those kind of regulations are coming all across the globe. So we have got EU-AI Act, we have got NYC Local Act, India AI Act amendment is coming up. So there are 31 different acts are getting prevalent in next 1 year or so. How can we make those acts embedded within our governance framework? That makes, so when I'm saying act, it also includes the act which has already been in place, GDPR, HIPAA, all those acts which are already in place, how can they get embedded within the governance framework so the output that my AI or GenAI model gives, it should be free from any IP, security, and legal biases. All right. So this is where we need to do a lot of work. I'm also working with METI in India AI Stack. We are looking at with different institutions like IIT Madras and all to create different framework. So we are looking at two major prospects with Government of India. One is how can we, so Government of India has got AI, India AI Stack. It's also running the quantum in parallel. So we are trying to see how we can move the AI workloads on quantum ecosystem, especially for training, tuning, fine-tuning purposes. We are looking quantum as a, or quantum safe algorithm to bring in within the AI ecosystem. Thereby we can create more safer, more useful AI, which people and the enterprises can use without any fear of privacy, legal or financial implications. I'll keep my speech here and thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahanti, for your insightful remarks. The floor is now open for questions, if any questions. Okay. Microphone.
One is about sentience. It is not happening, right? It's not going sentient, right? AI is not going rogue or sentient in near future, is it? I'm asking the panel about sentience of AI. Yeah?
Use the simpler word, consciousness.
No, I just read in the newspaper, there was this news about a boy who was using AI in the US for doing some assignment, and Gemini, he was using Gemini AI, and it actually badmouthed him. So there was this, is it gossip or is it true? It worries me. Anybody wants to comment on this, please? Because we are using AI, our students are using, and that's what we are discussing over here. So that worried me a lot. Yes. Yes.
So what I said, there is a possibility that it could have given some abusive statements, okay? The reason being, when we are into a game of creating large language models, which is used for, any generative AI tasks. So Gemini uses a large language model trained on huge volume of data. Where from that the data has come? So they have curated a lot of data from open internet and built those models. So any kind of information which is available within open internet, whether it has got biases, it has got hate, it has got abusive statement, everything has gone into the system. So there is a high possibility that it could have given an abusive statement when the person has asked something. That is where the education comes a lot of, it plays a lot of role. When we are exposing our children to use things like ChatGPT or Gemini AI, we have to also tell them the do's and don'ts of it, all right? They have to be, because these are not controlled, filtered at this point in time. There are a lot of endeavors going on from all these big companies to control those parameters so that it will not give any kind of abusive language, but yet we are not there. There is always a chance of error everywhere. But at this point in time, the education plays a lot of role until we have a foolproof system in place. So when kids are using AI for their assignments, for their, people are doing a lot of things, all right? Especially in the creative field, people are using prompts to create images, videos. They are able to animate, they are able to create a lot of songs, all those things. Education plays a role until we have a system in place to protect that. That's my answer to your question.
Okay, you go first.
Ma'am, I have a little different take on this. I understand that it can be abusive, it can mislead, but do you think that before this Gemini and ChatGPT, we did not have enough things to worry about? We had quite a few things to worry about, and they were all far more damaging than what we're getting from these things. So I agree with my friend. So there will be curves, and we're just scratching the surface today. So things will, see, most importantly, I would like to just bring in another thing. When I run a company, I have 300 people working with me. In the beginning, a lot of companies blocked this ChatGPT, blocked these things. I don't think that's a solution, right? Now, it is getting into everywhere, right, creative field. But you look at one small thing I will tell you. When it is taking away some work from one section of the people, this is actually making another aspect of the human beings more important. One example, see, you can see already happening. In entertainment, we sell art, right? Every entertainment, it's drama, it's songs, music, things like that. Today, maybe because of this AI, this performing art is becoming more popular. AI cannot come and sing a ghazal in front of you. The live singing, the live painting, the live drama, those things are going to become more and more popular. So this is a sine curve. Things will go up, things will go down. We just have to witness and enjoy this.
I'll just give one more example, like you said. In fact, in US, one of the attorney for his case citation used a GPT and gave a summary to the judge for the case that he was working on, right? And in fact, when the judge looked at the summary, actually what had happened behind the scene is the model had hallucinated and had given some case references which never really was there in the legal database for the case, right? So what I'm trying to say is, look, first, these models that most of the people are using right now are open models. There are open models and closed models. Typically, enterprises go for closed models where nobody would like to train your or give your data to a model which is outside your firewalls, okay? So the model like ChatGPT, Bird, and others, what you are using today are models which are trained with the data on the internet. Everything on the internet, they have trained to these models. And hence, you may get some of this, what you are experiencing or hearing. But still, I think over time, there are a lot of guardrails that have been built. From the time when the model is getting trained, the data being chunked and getting into the vector DB technically, right? And gets to the model trained area. It's already guardrailed to remove all those biases, profanity, and all those things that shouldn't get into the model. Also, when the model actually you instruct, when you ask or put a prompt, actually it's instruct to the model. There are two parts, right? There's a model, you train and fine-tune the model to the data. And then there's a point where you prompt the model to get a response. So you are giving a prompt, which is an instruct step, right? At that point, when the response comes back, the model has another guardrail to see whether if the response has some profanity or some data that shouldn't be sent back to the user. So those guardrails, both are the data training and modeling and the instruct step are actually getting built to remove some of these things what we are seeing. So I think as we move, things will become more matured.
So now we move on to the next part. Thank you, speakers, for your unique and enriching perspectives. I now invite Dr. Vishwajit Sahu to offer his closing remarks, tying together the key takeaways from today's discussions.
Thank you, Madam. Good evening once again to all delegates, students, panelists, speakers. Let me, before I sum up, let me give my view also. I'll be telling this from my experience of teaching the students for more than 25 years. We have intelligence available among us. It can either be artificial or natural. There are people who take birth with natural intelligence. They have a very good processor in their memory. They have a large memory. And they process many information in the right way. But I have seen students who come up whose natural intelligence is very less. But by training repeatedly, by solving more and more problems, which we say here, training sets, they become so intelligent. Sometimes they surpass the students who have natural intelligence. So it may also happen with a human being without taking a birth without intelligence. By training more and more data sets, he can also become intelligent someday. And one question I would like to clarify, in the last plenary session I have heard of it, this artificial intelligence will destroy the jobs. No. Any intelligent systems, be it a human being, any intelligent person, when he joins in the industry, the job markets enhanced. Intelligent people will never destroy the jobs, they will always create the jobs. So because it is artificial intelligence, it will create the jobs, will never destroy the jobs. which also happens in case of a human being. If I'm intelligent, I'll see that the job market will be enhanced and will never destroy it. Now let me sum up what Mr. Abhijit has exactly told. He specified many problems, how it could be solved using AI, and there are merits and demerits. We'll always go for the merits. And he also pointed out one thing very important. If the training data set is good, is more appropriate, then results of AI will definitely be fantastic. If we train it with the wrong data sets, it will never give a good results. So more importantly, AI must be trained with a good data set. So thank you, Abhijit. You have given a very good comments on this. Mr. Nirmalyam, he pointed out 3 areas of media: content creations, content delivery, and engagements basically of the audience. They are very important points, and he elaborately explained how AI is powerful to develop contents and for the content's delivery, and also to engage the audience with media. So thank you, sir. You have given a very nice elaboration on these 3. And Mr. Manohar Mishra, he pointed out we should always adopt the right technology, be it artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, any technology is coming, we should choose the right technology, and we should be adapted in every field, not only media, not only healthcare, in every aspect we must use it. Also pointed out 2 algorithms which are really fundamental algorithms for artificial intelligence. One is sorting, one is searching. Those 2 algorithms are hugely used. And based on those algorithms, many other algorithms have been developed in field of AI and machine learning. So thanks, sir. You have remembered all those algorithms in your talk. And Supra Satpathy madam, she has explained the application of AI in the media field, in the entertainments, and also explain the challenges. Okay, but a short time could not be possible to give the solutions. But with his slides, he has very much explained the applications of AI in media and entertainments. And finally, Sivabrata Mohanty sir, he addressed the students nicely. We have AI used in many areas. So which area we must focus to? So where the application is used, he has explained, so where the artificial intelligence has larger use, and the student must focus on those areas, and who are the beneficiary of AI, very nicely he has explained. So thank you all panelists for their elaborations, and thank you the audience, and thank you also the organizers for giving me an opportunity to speak few words over this. So thank you.
I agree with Dr. Sahu that the discussions which we had as part of this session collectively highlighted the critical importance of collaboration among industry leaders, academia, and policymakers to ensure AI's responsible and impactful deployment. Personally, a few takeaways for me from today's session is AI is just no longer a technology, but it's a strategic enabler across industries, be it entertainment, healthcare, or banking. Governance and ethical frameworks are vital to ensure that AI serves humanity in an inclusive and equitable manner. Like Sir has pointed out, there are a couple of acts like GDPR for Europe and DPDP, which is coming in India. It is put in place so that you ensure that AI serves the purpose without giving biased information. And last, continuous innovation and skill development are crucial to harness AI's potential fully. On behalf of everyone, once again, I give my sincere thanks to Dr. Sahu for his guidance, and to all our speakers for sharing their expertise and experience with such clarity and passion. To our audience, your engagement and attention has been instrumental in making the session vibrant and impactful. So let us carry forward the ideas discussed today and contribute to build a future where AI drives meaningful progress for all. So now I would like to call upon Mr. Pradeep Malik to do the felicitation. So please join us on the stage. And I'd like to request all the dignitaries to join us for the felicitation. Thank you. Okay. We have Mr. Pari also here. applause should continue. Within the next 2 minutes, we'll be starting with the next session. Thank you, everyone. You have been a wonderful audience.